Hi, Pet the Podcast Editor here. As an aspiring entrepreneur, you're bound to be recommended hundreds of different products and services, promising to turn you into the next Jeff Bezos. Well, in today's episode, Dan and Lloyd reveal their tried and tested purchases that have proved crucial on the road to working with global household name brands.
I think all of these, it's interesting how simple, it's the simple things that I find are really interesting. Like if you find something simple that massively changes the business and really improves what we're doing, I suppose that's easier for people to pick up.
And the boys talk about one cozy night they spent cuddling in a yurt.
We stayed in a double bed together.
We're absolutely freezing in this yurt, and we both just woke up. Obviously, we're in coats under this thick duvet in a bed together, like absolutely soaking in sweat.
Now, before we start, we'd like to take a minute to thank our new sponsor, .inc Domains. If you're looking for an exact match business domain name that won't break the bank, you have got to check out .inc Domains. How annoying is it when you want to register a website domain for your business name, but .com or .co.uk are already taken? What's even more annoying is the crazy amounts of money the domain owners can try charging you just to buy it off of them. Well, with a .inc domain, you can get your exact domain match at an affordable price. Visit get.inc/business anchors to get your .inc domain today. That's get.inc/business anchors. Right, let's dive in. This is episode 137 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
So Dan, what products and services have we bought in the last 5 years that have helped us 25x our revenue?
I'll tell you in a minute, but can I just quickly talk about a traumatic purchasing experience I've recently had? Because this is all to do about purchasing products and services.
Traumatic?
I just need to vent to someone about this.
Okay. Lots of people.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the time or not, but I've just been thinking about it a lot. So, very.co.uk, if you're watching, I recently ordered a coat from Very, right?
Yeah.
Ordered it in large. I've been really wanting this coat to take it away to Ireland. I was going to Ireland.
Okay.
It was like a week before. The coat came. It was in small.
Very
right?
small?
No, like it was actually really small. Like, you know, when you can't the sleeves are too short. So I was like, right, okay, this is frustrating, but I've got time to order it again. Mm-hmm. So I called them up. Can I have a refund? 14 days to get a refund, even though they did it wrong.
That's very long.
No, sorry. First of all, I tried to exchange it. That's it, exchange it. Right. Don't do exchanges. You have to get a full refund, then order it again.
That is very frustrating.
Right. So this was 3 days before Ireland. Yeah. And I wanted this new coat for Ireland.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, I'm not going to wait for the refund. I reordered the coat in large. Right?
Very large?
No, just large.
Okay.
The coat came just the day before Ireland. I was like, yes. Bloody small again.
For the second time?
The second time.
How does that happen?
I called up. I called up. I'm never like nasty to customer service people because you know it's not them that's done it. Yeah. But I was like, I know it's not your fault, but I'm very annoyed.
Very annoyed.
And explain the situation, and she the lady, lovely lady. So she called up the warehouse, and there was basically an issue in the warehouse. And then she said to me, I'm going to fix the issue, and I'm going to call you back when it's fixed. Right?
Right.
Didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Went to Ireland without the coat. Had to wear another coat I didn't want to take, like an old coat. And then I got back 2 weeks later. The other day, I called up. I said, hello, is the issue fixed at the warehouse? She's like, yeah, we fixed that a few weeks ago. And just incredibly annoying.
So does it end that you still don't have a coat?
No, I reordered it yesterday.
Right.
But I'm waiting for it to come now in the right size.
That's going to be very frustrating.
Sorry, I just wanted to vent that because I know this is talking about buying products and services, and I've had that recent experience, and it just...
Dan, if you ever want to talk about anything outside, come to me outside the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Sorry,
you don't have to wait until we record,
Yeah.
But yeah, that does sound very frustrating.
Yeah. But before we get into the pod, there is actually something we need to talk about that is to do with the pod.
Right.
So, yeah.
Is it something we're contractually obliged to talk about, Dan?
It is something we're contractually obliged to talk about.
Okay.
But the anchors are genuinely going to find this of value.
Okay.
So I just want to take a second to talk about our new pod sponsors, .inc domains.
Yes.
I thought that it would be good for us to talk a little bit about what .inc domains are and why we kind of wanted them to sponsor the podcast, because we recently have our own website on .inc domains, businessanchors.inc for the pod. So maybe, Lloyd, you can give us a bit of a rundown of .inc.
I'll be quick. So, did you know you can build, elevate, and protect your brand with .inc?
I didn't know that, Lloyd.
Yeah, .inc domain's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, have you heard of cyber squatting, Dan?
Cyber what?
Cyber squatting. Sounds dodgier than it is.
No.
So, the term cyber squatting refers to unauthorized registration and use of internet domain names that are identical or similar to trademarks, service marks, company names, or personal names.
That's amazing. You're not even reading that either.
No. So imagine like some donger has got like danknowlton.com.
Yeah.
Because they basically are like, oh, Dan Knowlton's going to want that. So I'm going to cyber squat over his face.
Is that actually a thing?
Yes.
Right.
So I'm going to do some cyber squatting. Then I'm going to be like, oh, you want that domain, do you, Dan? Yeah, 50 grand and you can have it.
Oh.
Okay. So obviously that's really annoying, but you can be like, no, thanks, mate. I got danknowlton.inc.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity for lots of businesses that there's businesses and people that are dealing with this, where other people have registered the domain names to try and make a profit out of it. So yeah, now .inc domains can help you get out of that sticky situation. And I know I've said it before, but there's a massive opportunity of getting like short, memorable, like even one word domain names, which previously haven't been available. So if you want podcast.inc, don't know if that one's available. Yeah. But there's things like that previously you'd be like, podcast.com, definitely can't get that. Can't afford the 100 grand that's going to cost. Yeah. And now there's the opportunity to get those short domains.
I've actually got an example of this. Okay. Right. Because I looked up, last time we spoke about .inc domains, I gave an example of like protein.com versus protein.inc and how it was crazily cheaper. So I started to do some more research and look at like what other domains could you get that are really short and memorable. So don't look at the notes, Lloyd, because I've got information I want to ask you.
I will not.
So cheese.com. Right? Cheese.com. Yeah. Okay. So if you sell cheese or do anything to do with cheese, you'd probably want cheese.com.
Oh, I do now.
So cheese.com is taken.
Oh.
So how much do you think the estimated value of like purchasing cheese.com would be?
Cheese.com. I reckon like £50,000.
Over 25 grand.
Okay, sorry.
Not quite.
Should we do that again? 12,000?
Over 25,000.
Wow.
Now I looked up, if you get cheese.inc, how much do you think cheese.inc would be, Lloyd?
I'm assuming less than 25,000.
Yes. So £1,664 for the first year.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Another one, right? Cheese.dev. How much do you think cheese.dev to buy it now?
I don't know. Surely not that much for cheese.dev, is it?
£37,180. Cheese.io?
If you're a cheese developer out there, that's...
Final cheesy domain for you, Lloyd. Yeah. Cheese.io?
Cheese.io. Let's go 11,000.
£73,442.
Why is that?
That is mental.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the point. Like, if your domain is taken or the domain you want, you can get a .inc domain and it's way more cost effective.
Imagine that you're having a conversation with your mate, like, oh, do you put that deposit down on a house? No, mate, I bought cheese.dev instead. So yeah, I'm going to have to hold off for the house for a while longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if any of you anchors want to check out and see if your domain's available and how much it would be, go to get.inc/business anchors and you can check out your domain there and see how much it's going to be.
Go there now. And now we're going to talk about the products and services that have helped us.
Yes.
25x
our revenue, Lloyd.
I find that really hard to say.
So there's 10 different products and services we're gonna talk about.
Can I talk about the first one?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. The first one is weird, but honestly, when I get into it, you'll know why this was a good thing for us to purchase. It was a one-night stay in a yurt in some woods.
Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Give the background, Lloyd.
Okay. The background is, and we've spoken about this in a couple of episodes about how important this is, but that was the first time Dan and I really got away from the team, from the offices, from everything. Oh, we love the team, but it's nice to get away for one day to clear our heads. And we actually mapped out a strategy for a whole year and really reflected on the progress of the business and all that sort of thing. And I just really think for business owners, or if you're leading a business or a department, to find time outside of the office where you're working, outside of the normal environment, to plan this stuff and discuss it is like hugely valuable, and it has had a massive effect on our business over the years.
Can I tell a weird story about that trip?
Yeah.
That's a really good point, but this weird story. So do you remember, you know this, when we were like around the campfire and I went to point at something in the woods because we were literally like...
No, it wasn't. It wasn't pointing at something in the woods.
I went like that, didn't I?
Yeah, you threw a stick.
Oh, that was it. Sorry, I threw a stick.
Yeah.
I threw a stick, so I was just throwing a stick into the woods. And my engagement ring... I've got an engagement ring.
He's got one. Yeah. Still not married.
I haven't actually got it on now because it's still in my gym
It's in the woods.
So I went like that, through the stick, and the engagement ring flew off the end of my finger into these woods.
And it was just getting dark. It was kind of like twilight, and he'd gone like that with a stick, and you just hear it go ping.
And I went to Lloyd, oh my days, what are we going to do? And it was just getting dark. And then this is the weirdest part. Lloyd just got up, walked over to the woods, dunked his hand in like the foliage and just picked it out immediately.
Yeah. Well, he just, for like 30 seconds, it was like, oh, we're going to be like hours searching through this dark woods. And somehow
I don't know.
I was like I had the vision of a hawk. I saw something glimmer like 20 meters away and picked it up. But the reason why I knew you didn't point, Dan, because you wouldn't point with your ring thing, would you?
Yeah.
That's why I knew you went
Over there.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be a weird way to point. I think you get some funny looks. Like, you just pass me that thing, pointing with that finger. Oh, it hurts to do it.
Also, another weird thing, we stayed in a double bed together, and there was a fire that we
wood burner.
So we put it on just before bed, and it was absolutely boiling in there. Do you remember?
Well, no, it was absolutely freezing. So we'd had a couple of beers maybe as well by the evening, and we put some wood in, and we're trying to work out sort of drunkenly how to light it up, and we're absolutely freezing in this yurt. I think it's really after saying it, I realised it's probably more for a romantic getaway. And so we both got into bed in our coats because it was so cold. But then obviously, for those of you that have ever lit a fire in the past, you know that at first it's not hot and then it gets incredibly hot. Yeah. And we both just woke up. Obviously, we're in coats under this thick duvet in a bed together, like absolutely soaking in sweat.
So then the fire eventually went out when we fell asleep. So then we woke up in this freezing cold with wet clothes.
Yes. Yeah, horrible.
That was actually quite a horrible.
Great purchase. Well worth the first mention.
So yeah, that was a really great purchase because we developed our strategy and
sleep in your clothes.
So my first one, I think I guess it's not just one thing, but best types of purchases that's helped us is all of the books, audio and non-audio that we've that I've bought and read and listened to. And if anyone's interested in seeing what they are, we've actually got a link, Lloyd.
Have we?
linktr.ee/Knowlton. It's got like a link to all of the different books that we've read. And
do you know something I've been thinking about reading and listening to audiobooks recently? I think when you first start and read a couple of books or whatever, it genuinely doesn't make much of a difference in the whole business journey. But you're kind of like, okay, well, I'll learn some new stuff. But I think it's like the
compounding?
Compounding, that's the word I was trying. Compounding of knowledge. And then now I look back and I think the books that I've read over like the last 3 or 4 years, I use like bits of information from all of them that have massively affected how our business has grown and what we do day to day. And I suppose that's hard to think of when you read one book, and you might there might be a handful of things you've learned. You think, oh, maybe that would be useful. But it's over time that it has a massive effect.
And it's reinforcing the things that you've learned. When like a few different authors and a few different really successful people whose books you're reading say the same thing, it's like, like that's it. We should do those things to help us.
I do think the most successful people I've met as well all read, actively read things to learn. And so it's kind of like, well, if it's working for everyone else, this makes sense.
I did notice one guy I follow who's like an agency owner who's doing really well. He did say that he actually started reading less books because before he'd read like 50 books a year or something, but then he'd never apply anything he learnt from the books. So now he's reading like 3 books a year and properly applying the lessons. So
interesting.
I guess it's trying to get that balance, isn't it?
My next one is a book.
Oh no, really?
So, I'll go straight into that. But the What the Heck is EOS book. So EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. And that book has had such a massive effect on our business. So for those of you that don't know, I'm not going to go into huge detail because some of you might already know.
We've done a podcast episode of on this as well.
Yes.
You look back through the archives.
We have. But it's the Entrepreneurial Operating System is basically just a full process on running your business and the things that you need to think about and do, and each individual within the business needs to do. And it's just been a game changer. Some of the things, even just how we structure our meetings and how we structure our projects and the step-by-step process we go through, how we deal with different types of clients and customers. It really just provided inspiration and a path to kind of improve so many areas of our business. So, and it's a really short book, by the way. So if you're not a reader, that's one that, so it's called What the Heck is EOS? There's loads of books around EOS, but that's like a simple short one. And I would really encourage anyone to read that.
It's also got quite big font and like diagrams and stuff, which I like.
Yeah. Dan found it's one that he could read. So that's really good.
It is funny on the topic of that book, like, when I think back to when we started the business and we had no processes, things just happened and we were like, we earned that much this month, or we lost loads of money this month. Like, it is an eye opener when you start to actually properly strategize and have structure to what you do. How crap we were when we started.
Well, it makes you feel like what you've done previously is crap because you do simple things that improve things so much. That you look back and like, oh, how the hell did that ever work? So that's what I mean. It's such an eye opener, and there's really simple things you can implement that will, massively improve what you're doing.
Another one from me. So, fitness tracker, the Whoop band. We did recently do a whole episode on this, episode 129, how buying a fitness tracker changed my life. But this little band right here, that helps me track lots of things around my health, has been really monumental in keeping me healthy and fit and feeling good.
And why does that affect the growth of the business then?
Well, if I'm feeling good and I'm responsible for growing the business, then I'm coming to work feeling better, more motivated, happier, enjoying my job more, got more energy. Just all those kind of good things. So
good. I agree, but I was asking you so the listeners could hear that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's
Thanks.
A bit of a behind the scenes view there of how this works.
Last episode we had a bit of comedy, didn't we?
It could still keep some comedy coming if you liked it. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
What's your next one?
My next one is a boring one. No, this is far more businessy, but again, I think all of these, it's interesting how simple, it's the simple things that I find are really interesting. Like if you find something simple that massively changes the business and really improves what we're doing, I suppose that's easier for people to pick up. But so Xero, the accounting software.
Yeah.
Obviously most people pay for an accounting software, so that's fine. But when we started using a feature of Xero called the Budget Manager.
Oh my God. The retention graph is just plummeted.
I want to be specific
listeners.
in something that is hugely, and I'll go into how it's massively helped us grow our business.
To be fair, like people do actually like your boring but useful bits. They have commented about it. But here we go. Strap yourself in, guys.
It's going to be quick, but it's the Budget Manager. So basically you put in the future income in each month. So work that you've already won that you know is there. And then in all of the different categories, you put what your expenditure or your kind of budgets for your expenditure is, and you can base that on the previous months and stuff and adjust it. And why? So basically, you can see in future months how much you're forecasted to lose or make in those future months. And the reason why this has helped us grow our business massively is because it's like a time machine to let us see, in 3 months' time, we're projected to make a £50,000 profit. And then it's like, oh, okay, right, we should start thinking about what we can invest in because we know that's going to happen to improve our business. Or it might be in 3 months' time, we're projected to lose £28,000. And then that, again, big wake up call, like, oh, hang on, how's that worked out? Do we need to shift some things around and make sure that that doesn't happen? And, oh, do we need to delay that thing we were going to invest in because it looks like the money's not going to be there. What's going wrong? And being able to predict that and know that and feel safe and reduce the risk of investing in the business is a massive thing that has helped us to grow. So why are you smiling so much?
I just really I really wanted to slowly like look like I was falling asleep and then they could cut it but I had to stop myself. So
I did notice you were laughing on the inside the whole time I was talking about that.
I wasn't listening to any of that. I was just thinking
there's no way Dan's enjoying it this much. There's something going on.
No, genuinely, that is good and it's helped us loads. So
cool. Okay, can you tell me your thing that I'll be incredibly bored by?
LinkedIn Premium.
Don't give a shit, mate.
The listeners do. So LinkedIn Premium is, I think it's about 60 quid a month or something, which sounds like quite a lot.
Is it really worth it?
Yes, it is worth it. I'll tell you why it's worth it.
Okay, good.
For one feature alone. And it's got lots of different features. The one feature it's worth it for, from a sales perspective, is seeing who's viewed your profile. And we've spoken about this before. We have a really effective LinkedIn video outreach strategy that we've spoken about lots before. We break it down in episode 85 of the podcast, where we will send people who are looking at my profile, or I will send people looking at my profile, a personalized video who are in our target market to say, hey, I've noticed you view my profile. Notice you run this company. Would you like to have a chat about your marketing? But a much better version of what I've just done. And in the episode 85, I give you a real life example. That has literally generated hundreds of thousands of pounds of revenue for our company. And the reason we can do that is because we've got LinkedIn Premium and it tells me who is visiting my profile, what their job is, what company they work for. So I know I can see people who are in our target market, who are interested in what we do, and I can send those outreach videos to book.
So I've got a question, Dan.
Yeah, go on.
If it's so incredibly valuable, why don't I have it?
That's a good point. I guess.
Thank you.
I think that is a good point. You probably should have it. I think if you did have it though, we would need to devise a plan to ensure we get the use out of it. And also I think you'd need time allocated to put into it, because I don't think it's something we can outsource you being you on LinkedIn. There's elements of it that the team could help with, but I think you would need to do stuff. And I guess it's figuring out.
We know that I don't like doing stuff.
We know you don't like doing stuff, and we know you've got a limited time. But potentially that's a good point.
Could be a good trial. I mean, we're telling the anchors how useful it is. You've pointed out how it's made us hundreds of thousands of pounds from getting in touch with those people. If there's a small opportunity on my LinkedIn, maybe
I guess there's more of an opportunity when you are active on LinkedIn, which you aren't, but sometimes you do stuff.
Yeah. And maybe just my looks in the profile picture probably attracts quite a lot of people to my profile.
Yeah, probably, mate.
Okay.
Go on, move on to your next one.
Okay. Will do. Now, this was something that happened very early in the business. Got my first version of this thing.
Right, okay.
And it really, it links to a couple of the other things we mentioned, but AirPods. So a lot of people, I was just going to say, sorry, this made me laugh. I'm just going to say a lot of people ask me what my best purchase is. literally no one's ever asked me that.
No one has ever asked you what your best purchase is.
Okay, so no one's ever asked me that, but rather than...
I love that you're just going to completely lie.
So yeah, that's why I reworded it. Rather than a lot of people ask me, what I should have said is, I tell a lot of people that aren't bothered that when I first got AirPods and like wireless headphones, I think people laugh like you because it's like such a small thing.
Yeah.
But having a business and being able, like on the go, being able to, this sounds stupid, more easily talk to people on the phone, but also like listening to the audiobooks and the podcasts that I learn from, like over time, again, the compounding effect of all the stuff I've listened to and learnt from while I'm like on the go and doing different things has had a massive effect on our business and how it's grown from the things I've learned. So although it's like why would like AirPods help that? It does sound a bit stupid, but actually I know that having those has probably increased like the me listening to audiobooks and the podcasts I learn from probably by like tenfold.
Yeah.
And that has had a massive effect. And I know it links to the other points we said about books and stuff, but I suppose that shows how much of a big effect I think that does have.
Yeah. And it shows how important it is because everyone's always asking you about it. Like, what are the products that really help you? 25
Lloyd, you're so successful. What's the best product you've ever bought that might help that?
On the AirPods point, I've got a prop here. This was unplanned. New AirPods Pro I bought the other day. I've had normal AirPods for probably like 5 years, and I completely agree with you. And I invested in these the other day, and they're an absolute game changer. You should get some.
I actually don't use AirPods anymore. I've got a Google phone, and I've got the Google.
Oh, you can't get AirPods.
Shall I get my prop out for the viewers?
Go on.
Viewers, slightly different shape case. There we go. For the listeners, I'm getting out a pair of Google Pixel Buds or something, I think they're called.
Yeah, are they good?
Yeah, they're good. One of them's got a bit of earwax on. So
I did give my old AirPods to Christelle yesterday. I was like, oh, you can have those. And they're just, covered in earwax.
Oh.
So moving on to my next one, which is Dash This.
Yes.
We've spoken a lot about this quite recently in a few episodes actually, but Dash This is software that allows you to create bespoke dashboards that show you metrics in terms of how you're performing with your marketing and that kind of thing. And it has been game changing for us because it's helped us better understand our performance, what things are working, what things aren't working, and most importantly, gives us the information and the kick up the arse we need when things maybe aren't working as well as they should to actually take action. So it's actually quite cost effective as well. Like to have the ability to create bespoke dashboards, I think it's like $33 a month. And
I think also that's not even the cheapest way you can do it because we pay a bit more because we have some for our clients set up. I think there's even a cheaper.
Oh, is there?
There might be
there
limitations for like the free or the cheap version.
Yeah.
But I find it hugely useful. And it's live data as well. Well, I say live data. I think it takes a few hours to update. But you can send a link to your boss or your employees or whatever and be like, oh, make sure you keep track of this. And they can see it day to day, how we're doing. And rather than like, I've got to export a report or whatever each week or each month. It's just always once you've set it up, it's live. And
I mean, we do it for ourselves. We've set these up for ourselves and our client campaigns, and it's just a really good summary of how things are going.
Yeah.
So
I think the quality of reporting, like from our clients' point of view, obviously this isn't relevant for everyone's business, but it might be not your clients, but like your team or your boss, like I said, or whatever. It's much better quality reporting because they've got that. Oh, any day I can look at it and we can adapt it really easily. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. What's your next one, Lloyd?
My next one is, again, I suppose there's really themes here, which I think is, at first I was like, oh, it's a bit repetitive, but I think it's good to see really there's
it's not
clear,
a budgeting
clear
planner,
themes that have, no, there's clear themes that have massively affect us and we agree on it, which is a good thing, I think. But it's my gym membership. And you're probably looking at me thinking, yeah, Lloyd, what a great purchase. You're looking great. But
everyone asks Lloyd.
But I agree with Dan. Like I've always struggled with my weight and stuff. So it's obviously good for me to try and improve that. But to be more physically healthy, and for me personally, the guys at work take the piss out of me for this, but my gym has a sauna and a spa kind of area. And I really find the time in the sauna and that kind of thing in the morning after my workout really good mentally for me to kind of get ready for the day and that kind of thing. And luckily it's a sauna where you keep your clothes on, because we went to one in Austria where you weren't allowed clothes, which is strange for us British people.
Yeah, we went in there with shorts on and we got told off by this old lady that we had to get naked, didn't we?
This old naked lady.
Yeah. I've actually got a really good story about a sauna story, just quickly.
Okay.
Does
it involve nakedness?
It does involve nakedness. This isn't in it to do with anything, but I just got to quickly tell you. So, someone I know, this is quite embarrassing, but I'm not going to say names or anything. Someone I know, Trevor went out with someone who from a certain country where saunaing is a big thing.
Okay. So it might be like Scandinavian countries or other places in Europe. It's quite big, isn't it?
So they went to meet the parents of said partner from Scandinavia.
Right, like a romantic partner.
Like,
meeting their parents. Okay.
So flew over there, met the parents for the first time. Saunaing's a big thing, and they actually had done some research before, like to understand like a bit more about like the culture and stuff. And saunaing is a thing that families do together.
Yeah.
They read up that you do like you sauna naked out there, like that is the done
I've
thing.
heard that, yeah.
Which I have actually heard as well.
Yeah.
So they went to have the first sauna. They were like, oh, we're gonna have a family sauna. So said person thought, right, we're going to do this naked thing. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it's just the done thing.
Yeah.
They went and got changed and ready. All the family were in the sauna already.
That's pretty brave. I don't know if I'd have the
I know.
balls to do. I literally don't have the balls to do that. Yeah.
When so the family were in the sauna already. They obviously got naked. All the family were in the sauna. Open the door to the sauna, and all the family have clothes on.
Oh no!
I know.
What? So they just ran? They just left?
No, they went. They sat in the sauna naked.
Oh, with just I suppose once you're committed, if you open the door and you're naked, you can't disappear and then come back with clothes and they'd be like, was that you just naked at the doorway? No. Was there someone naked? Was there? They looked like me, did they?
Oh, imagine the floor. And it's
oh, that is so cringy.
Yeah.
I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Not obviously not to see that person naked.
No.
I don't know who it is, but
What's funny also about your sauna thing is because we've got Whoop bands that track your there's something called strain that tracks how much effort you're putting in basically. You actually have higher strain when you're in a sauna than when you do your weightlifting sessions.
yeah, this is something I need to address probably. It says my body's working harder when I sit in the sauna than weightlifting, which I think probably means I need to have some more intense weightlifting sessions, I'd say.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting. That's the last one, isn't it?
I think that's the last one, yeah.
Interesting themes. Actually, a point on one more bonus point on the boring zero thing.
Yes, there is one more.
One thing that I found really useful to do with the finance stuff, we paid for a tax review with an accountant, and I think we spoke about this on an episode as well, but it made us realize that we were paying loads of tax in ways that we didn't need to. And again, not talking about evading tax or anything like that, like completely legal things. And we're like, oh, we don't need to do that. Oh, we can do this and we're not liable for that tax. And that saved us a huge amount of money, which we've been able to reinvest in the business and really help us grow. So if you go to kind of like a tax specialist accountant, that's really helpful. This
was the one that I forgot to talk about. So thanks for reminding me, Lloyd. Investing in decent accountants. This is the final one for me. So we actually did episodes on this. Episode 19 of the podcast, we did an episode titled "Are All Accountants Rubbish?" because we were having a terrible experience with accountants. We basically pissed off a load of accountants and then found a really good one, didn't we? Yeah. So having decent accountants has been hugely beneficial to us. That actually help you grow and better manage your finances.
Our old accountants, it was a negative thing, like, oh yeah, the accountant's got to do that, and it was always like, oh, it's rubbish, they take ages and they're not doing it. And then we got our new one. We've been not new, been with them for years now, but suddenly it was, oh, they're just contacting us, helping us with stuff. And,
what is going on there?
Sort of suggesting things that can save us money and can help us and that kind of thing. And suddenly it was a benefit rather than this thing that has to be done and is always taking up time and money and stuff. That is definitely some themes around financial stuff, some themes around health. What else was there?
Products like
being able to education.
Education.
So health, education, and finance, some themes there.
Nice.
So maybe anchors, think about those themes. There might be some useful stuff for
the fourth one, kind of getting a .inc domain, was in there as well. That's the fourth theme. Get a .inc domain, which is hugely, well, probably will, because we haven't had it long, hugely improve our business. When we do this in a couple of years, that will be one of the ones because we would have had it for a couple of years. The anchors visiting get.inc/business anchors.
Yeah.
It's probably what they should do.
Yeah, probably do that. So improve your finances, your health, educate yourself.
And your domain.
And get a .inc domain.
Shoehorn that one in there?
Yeah, do it. So you've got all the tools you need, all the products and services you need to massively grow your business now. So off you go, and we'll see you in your ears next week.